So I've been a Las Vegas native for about 23 years now and went to high school here. I went to college here, made my good friends, started raising my family here. And obviously, as a real estate broker, I should be selling you the sunshine and the palm trees and all the glitz and glamour of Las Vegas, but that's not what I'm doing today. I'm actually going to go through all the bad and the ugly and the stuff that I've learned about Las Vegas in the 23 years that I've been here. This video is going to be all about truth and honesty and the reality of what it's like to live in Las Vegas. So obviously I've been here long enough that I've seen the growth of the city, the ups and the downs. And if you're ever thinking about moving to Las Vegas or even just curious what it's like to live in Las Vegas, you have to know about these following 3 things. At the end of this video, I'm going to rank the top 3 areas of Las Vegas that I personally like after living here for 23 years. Number 1, our education system. Unfortunately, Nevada ranks amongst the lowest in the United States as far as education goes. It's a subject like my upbringing. It's about having good education, being in good schools, and having good grades. I mean, go figure, right? But the reality is I don't have that resources here in Las Vegas given our school system is just ranked so low. What do I do? How do I decide where do I want to put my kids? Personally, I have been affected by high turnover for teachers, right? From when I went to school to even when my kids are currently in school. Every other year, it's a new teacher, and that's not a good sign. Like anyone would know that low retention rate is a negative thing. So did you know that CCSD, which is Clark County School District, is one of the largest school districts in the nation? And with that comes certain challenges such as overcrowded classrooms, hard to find resources or teachers to be able to supply for these schools, and funding, right? These are all common challenges that we've personally have experienced through the CCSD school districts. And unfortunately, that has not been a solvable issue yet. So interesting fact, when I first moved to Las Vegas, I went to a local public high school, and boy, was that place rough. And I didn't know any better, right? But fortunately for me, my parents saw some red flags and immediately decided we need to move to across town to the nicest part of Las Vegas and went to the best public high school at the time. And then I got the culture shock of, wow, there is quality difference in public school systems. So now when I'm in the position to select schools for my kids, I've learned that, and from personal experience, that where you live matters, and which school you're zoned for highly matters. And when you're not zoned for a right school and you're not in the position to move, then you can consider these following options. There are magnet schools, there are charter schools, and there are private schools. And these are not constrained by the location you live, but more so, well, one is luck, because charter is through lottery system and private is through private funds. So if you have the means, you could put your kids in a private school, then you wouldn't have the problem of, challenged public school systems. And there are a total of 30 magnet schools throughout CCSD, 80 charter schools in the whole state. In fact, the Southeast Technical Career Academy ranked number 1 in the entire US for the year of 2022. So that's a huge improvement for the magnet school sector of CCSD. And that just to tell you, with the right information, you can use that information and leverage it to solve the problem of having poor school systems. Well, for me, my kids have started in a private school, and this because the timing, it was COVID. All the schools were shut down. It was, kids had to go to school from home. So my kids were young at the time, and the only option I had was to put them in a private school, and it was an immersive Chinese learning school, which is in line with my goal for my family. So they've been there ever since. However, we have gotten chosen through the lottery system by one of the best charter schools here in Las Vegas. So that being said, my wife and I decided let's give it a try. If we're going to be here long term and we want to know exactly how the school systems are here in Las Vegas, let's try the charter versus the private. We know we don't want to try public, so this is our way to find out. And if you want to find out, you just got to follow me and I'll be able to share my experiences with you. I think it's important as parents to also sometimes put the earplugs on and not listen to what everyone else is saying, because everybody has their own opinions of their best schools and the best areas to live in and whatnot. It's asking questions to equip yourself with information, and then talk to your partner, your spouse, and your family to see what is important to you, and then make a decision based on that. So I have a client coming from Maryland that has 2 teenagers also looking for a good school to go into. So the strategy that we're taking is to locate neighborhoods that are within the school district of good public schools, so that they know at least they have that to fall back on. However, at the same time, they're putting their names onto the lottery system for these magnet and charter schools. So you could take that approach to know that you'll be able to get, best case scenario, a great charter or magnet school and a home in a neighborhood that's decent and has a good public school district if you don't end up being chosen in the lottery system, and just try again next year. All right, the second thing is the heat. That everyone knows. We're in a desert and it is extremely hot here. We're talking upwards of 110 degrees sometimes. And that's between the summer seasons. You're going to be melting when you're outside, and your car is going to be like a oven if you try to commute anywhere. Anything you leave inside the car, forget it. It's getting melted. You're not going to get it back. And that's just something that we have to deal with. And it's something we struggle with here in Las Vegas. We don't hide it. But know this, it's dry heat. It's low humidity. It's not like when you're in Florida or in Texas where you walk out of the house and you're drenched. We rarely sweat here. And dry heat actually is good for your respiratory system, for your joints. So people that have joint problems or respiratory problems, they actually do really well here in Las Vegas. And we don't have any natural disaster, right? What's a little bit of a heat compared to, hurricanes, tornadoes, wildfire, and earthquakes? All of that, I'll choose dry heat over those any day. And I'm sure you've heard this by now, but home insurance is causing a huge problem for a lot of homeowners in certain states, as well as the real estate market in that particular state. And that's all caused by natural disaster. And Las Vegas, Nevada don't have that problem. The reality is it's just 3 months. It's really not that long, and we don't have a lot of places where we need to stay outdoors. Las Vegas has enough infrastructure to keep everything inside, so it's just when you walk to your car and from your car to the next destination is when you're going to get a little bit of exposure to the sun. So obviously another solution is having pools. And not everybody have access to pools or having pools in their backyard. I get that. However, part of the perks of being in Las Vegas is we've got tons of resorts here. And some of these resorts actually opens up for the locals to use the public pools that they have. And it's really nice. So you have resort pools, you have community pools, you have certain private gyms that you can join. So really, that is some of the best solutions to combat this extreme heat here in Las Vegas. Lastly, the third point, oh my God, it's the traffic. I mean, the traffic has gotten so bad, especially when we have an influx of population and the constructions that just seems endless, right? On Las Vegas Boulevard when F1 is coming, on the freeway when it's a 4-lane freeway that goes down to a 1-lane for no apparent reasons. And people are just frustrated. They're upset. They're wondering why this happens all the time. You're late for school, you're late for work, and takes you twice the time to get home for dinner. And that's something that happens almost every single week here. It is something that comes with the territory. The growth of the city requires so much infrastructure improvement that we're constantly seeing new exits being added to the freeway. We're seeing road expansions. We're seeing the Southwest having all these big infrastructures being added, and during the time they need a pole utility, so boom, orange cone all the way, light to light. Hey, you know what? We all gone through it. All the places that you're enjoying today at some point had construction for you to actually access this place. So just something you have to put up with. It's not forever. You'll learn the little, secret routes, the little shortcuts, the city streets that will get you around. Las Vegas actually is one of the easiest cities to navigate because of the grids of the street it's just north and south, east and west. There's no, road through the tunnel or the mountains. Easy to manage. So if I had to choose, I will pick Las Vegas traffic over LA traffic any day. Just to give you a little reference point, there's a street in Las Vegas called Blue Diamond on the very south end of the city. Blue Diamond used to just be a one-way street both lanes, and in the desert, right? And people commuted through that. And that was the hardest thing, was there was a train track that crosses Blue Diamond. So when the train comes, just imagine that, the backup there, right? Granted, there was not a lot going on Blue Diamond at the time. It was still kind of a pain when you're just trying to go across the city and taking Blue Diamond. Fast forward 10 years, Blue Diamond now is a 5-lane one-way street. Well, 10 lanes both ways now. And that train track that everybody dreads has an overpass. So Jones goes over the train track that you could basically drive over. You never have to wait for the train again. And right now they're expanding Jones to basically connect towards the inner part of the city. So it is a solution that just has to go through some growing pain. And now we're just, enjoying the fruits of our labor, waiting in that street for all this time. Now we don't have to ever wait again. Vegas has seen such a growth in its city itself and the technology and everything that's being built here. Like, just think, MSG Sphere. When have you ever seen something like that? Vegas was the first place that they developed it. We have Hollywood 2.0 that's coming with Warner Brothers and Sony buying up land and developing their studios. And Brightline, the high-speed rail connecting California to Las Vegas. These are all the things that's coming, and we unfortunately have to experience a little bit of growing pain for it to actually settle and before we can actually enjoy these new additions. All right, so now I'm going to go over the top 3 places that I personally love living here in Las Vegas. Number 3, Henderson, Nevada. Henderson has recently been ranked the most happiest place for people to live in Nevada, followed by Reno, which is northern Nevada, but we're here in southern Nevada. Why Henderson? Well, Henderson is well established. It's been around for a long time. Specifically, I want to highlight West Henderson because it has some of the newest developments, even though the residential sector is a little more established. But St. Rose Parkway, just like the example I gave about Blue Diamond, it used to be a 1-lane street. It's now a 4-lane street that has incredible amenities around it. They have all the coffee shops that you can think of, the great restaurants, Costco, pickleball facility, all these entertainment things. Raider practice stadium is there. West Henderson Hospital was just opened. There's just so much growth in West Henderson that I feel it has a combination of an established area of Las Vegas or Nevada and some innovation happening because of all the growth that we're seeing. My second choice is Summerlin. You probably have heard that word. Anyone that's thinking about coming to Las Vegas or moving to Las Vegas, the first place they say, I want to move to Summerlin. And when I ask why, they just say, I don't know, because my friend told me to. But the reality is this, Summerlin has some of the best school options. Public school, private school, they're all in the Summerlin vicinity. Summerlin also has close proximity to Red Rock Canyon, which is an amazing, amazing outdoor space that you can hike, you can bike, you can camp, and it's higher in elevation. So Summerlin does, have 10 degree cooler weather during the hottest summer seasons, and sometimes it even snows up there. So you can go to Summerlin and feel like you're in this very upscale suburban neighborhood. You do have travel a little bit if you need to go, somewhere to go shopping or to go to a nice restaurant. It's not as accessible as the next area I'm going to mention, but Summerlin has kept its value really strong because of the proximity to all these amenities and the good schools that it's offered here in Las Vegas. So in comparison, Henderson and Summerlin both offer a very different experience if you're looking at luxury living. Henderson has better views because they do have a higher, drop in elevation if you're coming from the top of the mountains of McDonald Highlands, and you see this view that just kind of out of this world. It seems like the plane is in the same height as, when they're taking off as where your living room is when you see the strip view. And Summerlin has a gradual increase in elevation, but it does have this very family-friendly community that they built, and almost everything has the best parks in Summerlin, the best outdoor events, and downtown Summerlin does their annual family-friendly events that takes place there, the parades for Christmas, for Halloween. So Summerlin does have that going for them. So I did make another video comparing 2 luxury homes built in the same year, one in Summerlin and one in Henderson. If you want to check it out, check the link below, or you can go to my channel and take a look. Finally, the number 1 place that I choose to live here in Las Vegas is Enterprise. Yes, some people call it Southwest, some people call it Enterprise, some people call it Spring Valley, but it's between Summerlin and Henderson. There's the Southwest region, and it's currently being called Enterprise. And why do I like Enterprise so much? Well, we don't have the best schools or the best parks or the most established neighborhoods, but it's all within arm's reach. It's 10-15 minute drive for us to get to Summerlin or to Henderson instead of 30-minute drive from Henderson to Summerlin or vice versa. So accessibility is huge for me. I value time. I need to have quick access to things that I need. And Enterprise has everything from hospitals to attorney offices to real estate offices to best restaurants to the best coffee shop, the coolest playground. It's all within the 10-minute drive here in Enterprise, and it truly has become the most convenient part of Las Vegas to live in. Not to mention, it is quite affordable still. You're not paying the premium to live in Summerlin or paying the premium to live in Henderson, but you have access to all their amenities, and the local amenities of Enterprise is growing. We've just added Durango Station Casino. We have Costco Southwest that's currently being built. And we have all these new shopping areas like the Uncommons, has some of the coolest restaurants, the newest concepts here, and The Bend, which will have a luxury movie theater and some cool restaurants in there as well, and the indoor pickleball court. If you want the newest and the greatest and the most convenient place to live, Enterprise is a place you need to look at. Another thing about the Southwest Enterprise area is they have products that used to be maybe $400,000 on a half an acre lot and it's an entry level home, but now they're trading at $900,000 to $1 million because the growth of Southwest has been so substantial that it all boats rise during high tide, right? So Enterprise isn't maxed out yet. We're not at capacity in terms of our land development. We're not at capacity in terms of our amenities and our infrastructure. It's just going through the phases to become the next Summerlin or the next Henderson. So even though you may compare to 10 years ago, like, oh man, I could have gotten that house for this price, but today is double that. But think about 10 years from today, what is that going to be like? So it definitely is something that is worth considering if you don't mind. Okay, I don't need that zip code MV. I don't need that Summerlin name that everybody is mentioning, but I value growth, I value convenience, and I value lifestyle, because this has access to almost everything best Vegas has to offer. So there you have it. We talked about the 3 things that is worse about Las Vegas and the 3 top areas that I love living in. I've been a real estate broker here in Las Vegas for almost 9 years now. I've seen all the ups and downs. I'm an investor myself and I own properties here in Las Vegas, so I track the data all the time. This is what I do. I live and breathe this. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. If not, it's okay. You can just continue to watch this channel, and I'll see you next time. 再见.